Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Camellia reaction that's also an Archaea reaction. It's been a second since I've heard anything from Camellia. We've had a pretty significant gap while I've been listening to other things from rhythm games and that genre field in general, but Erathane wanted me to get to this one. I'm going to have to read this title very carefully because it's a hex code and it is 1F1E33, which according to Erathane is apparently just a random hex code from a picture of a night sky that Camellia liked and wanted to use for something. So that's what this is. What a weird... Camellia is such a weird person. But I digress. I'm going to listen to this song and see what it has to offer. This is one of the longer songs I've heard of Camellia, so it should give me a nice time to just sit in here and experience his sound and hear what it sounds like. So without further ado, let's go! Ooh. That piano sounds really compressed. It's not a bad thing, it's just an observation. Ooh. Ooh. I can never tell where Camellia's gonna go. So far, mystery, a little intrigue. Definitely some energy on it, though. As expected, of something labeled Neurofunk Hardcore. Ooh. Nice. I heard the harpsichord in there. Still hearing it. Just abusing that harpsichord. Woo. Kind of utilizing some classical gothic sort of approaches in the composition. Not just in the instruments, but in the way it's written. Woo. Man. Every single time I feel like it's going to take a break and it never does. But it always does happen eventually. Like right now. Gotta release the tension to build it back up again. This song's waking me up a little bit. I'm tired, but less so now. Maybe it's all the headbanging and bopping around. There goes my hair, at least. That's when you know it's a fun song, when my hair falls down. It never fails. Ooh. It's a beautiful break here. Very haunting. And it's always Camellia's balance. Nothing feels like it's overpowering any other part of the song. Ooh. Changed it up a little bit. change up in the middle of a change up. God, things happen so fast in Camellia's songs. It's always hard for me to track. Again, I love all the, I don't know if I'd call them references, but utilizations of more classical stuff in here. Adding that modern energy to it. You know, this is just a sidebar. I did not know that Camellia made a Steve's Lava Chicken remix. I'm not surprised, though, to be honest with you. Man, every single time. I also can't believe I didn't realize that this is the 00102G version, which just spells long, you clever bitch. Usually when it comes to Camellia's songs and my reactions of them, I tend not to be able to do too much on the breakdown and analysis side of things, just because I honestly have to bow to Camellia's ability to keep all of this sensible and controlled, and all this chaos, seeming chaos, is controlled by Camellia. And I just find myself at a loss of how to put that into words, because I really don't know production well enough to fully get how some of these things are done. I can praise him till the cows come home about how he's able to figure all that out and how he's able to balance everything so damn well, but I don't really fully understand how. So I just end up kind of sitting here baffled after every single time I hear one of these songs. And even though I do appreciate, in this one especially, the use of these other genres, and again, the approach, not even just the instruments, having the harpsichord in there. He usually does have piano or some other sort of lead in there that he just kind of trickles in, and that's perfectly fine. It's kind of the root of most music is a piano, so I expect that, but the harpsichord was a nice touch, and it made the tone of the song feel so much more coherent. Like, the vibe he was going for was clearly something a little bit more Draculian, I guess, if you want to call it that. Very gothic in that way, where it just feels like something you would hear in Castlevania or some similar media, and it's just the perfect vibe, but also the usual Camellia flair of having the hardcore in there, and of course other things thrown in there, and it's just like, I can never tell where Camellia is gonna go, and that's always a delight to hear, because some music does get fairly, I'm gonna say predictable. That feels like a bold word, but it's probably the most apt, because music does get a little predictable after a while, and especially after you hear as much as I have just on this channel so far, and who knows how long this will go. I've heard so much music, and a lot of music does get a little bit samey. You start to hear the same influences, the same chords, the same structures, and yada yada, and this is definitely not the case. You know, Camellia always throws me somewhere through a loop. I don't know exactly where he's going to throw me, but I'm going to end up through a loop and on the floor on the other side of said loop. I just never know where he's gonna go. And of course that tends to work great for things like Archaea, and having that niche for him tends to work fantastically, because that's kind of what people want out of those games and out of that experience, is the lack of being aware, the lack of knowing what's going to happen next. That unpredictability is kind of the core of a lot of modern rhythm games. So songs like this and producers like Camellia do fantastic work on those, because every single time you feel like you understand them, they release an entirely new album that sounds nothing like the last one. And while I've heard a few songs off of U.U.F.O already, I wouldn't be able to draw a firm line between any of these songs that I have heard sound-wise. You know, like, they're all so unique in and of themselves. Sure, they have the Camellia-isms, like any producer has their signature stuff, but that doesn't mean that they sound the same either. There are definitely producers who just make stuff that sounds kind of the same every single time, with a few little alterations here or there in a different key or a different chord progression, but largely they sound samey. That's not the case with Camellia. He just consistently throws you off, and that's perfect, again, for his situation and what he's trying to accomplish with his music. I think that's fun. Having fun with it is really what Camellia seems to be doing, just kind of goofing around and having a good time and allowing that quality of his personality penetrate fully through his music and his work, and it's just so much fun. I think that's why people tend to gravitate towards Camellia's work so hard, because it's not only well produced, but also you feel like you're listening to a song made by a person and with a purpose deeper than just here's a bunch of fast noise, even though sometimes that of course is the joke. I've definitely seen enough of Camellia's personality and their work and just posts that they've made that I'm like, okay, yeah, they are kind of taking the piss a little bit and goofing around with their community and just making ridiculous stuff for the sake of it because it is kind of funny. But you gotta laugh at yourself as well, and I think Camellia understands that. So again, personality breaking through the music there, and just I know I haven't said anything about the song, but like I said, it's really nothing I can say that would have any meaning to a song like this. And this has mostly just been me talking about Camellia's personality. But like I just broke down, that's kind of mostly why I love Camellia and why I'm sure a lot of people do. The personality shines through the song, the love for the craft, the absolute understanding of what they're doing, while it's completely baffling to other people like me who, frankly, should probably know a little bit more than they seem to be able to pull from a song like this. There's just so much happening, and it can be overwhelming, but there's also a latent respect that I have for that as well. When you stump me, I've got a respect for you that I can't seem to put into words, and Camellia has consistently been a recipient of that respect from that source. So that's really all I've got to say on this one, is just kind of talking about Camellia's personality and why I can feel their personality and enjoyment for their craft through this. That tends to be what most of my reactions to Camellia end up as. But hopefully you enjoyed the video either way. Thank you, Aerithane, for putting this into the queue. As always, I will enjoy a good Camellia song here or there as they show up, and this is just another one that was really fun, and I love the approach and the flavor that he was tossing in here. Had a lot more fun, I think, than usual, honestly. This might be one of those songs that's kind of, like a personal favorite of Camellia even. I felt a significant love to this one, even compared to the other ones that I can tell that he really likes. This definitely has some sort of special place in Camellia's heart, I think. But either way, that's it for this video, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you have something else you want me to get to, drop it down in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like Aerithane did, you can go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships for the executive producer tier. That will guarantee a request from me. I don't care what it is. I don't care how good it is, how bad it is. I will make a video for it. That's why it's a guaranteed request. Or if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, including something I'll probably be doing with Camellia here in the next couple of months, hint, hint, then you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!